Yo, what's good? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room yet again, always with another one. Yes, indeed, it is another one. So, yes, we do have Brother Anton Daniels in the broadcast room. Definitely give him a shout out, real talk. Um, Brother Anton is always on top of the messages that he tries to provide for everyone. Yeah, go ahead on, go over there, give him a subscribe for real though. All right, so what he got going on here, he has a woman here that's admitting that she left her husband because he was corny. Okay. I mean, we understand about a lot of things in life. And definitely, new age women's mindsets are not quite they're not the same as women back in the day. Okay. And that's just it's kind of how that's going. But let's go here now. Let's put these quarters, nickels, and dimes in on the times.
He would, worship what I walked on. He was that, but he was too corny for me. Like, tell me sit down. Tell me stop going out. God. Don't put your hands on me, but put your foot down. Like every time I want to go out, I can go out. Anytime I want to, I can whatever, do it.
How did it get that far?
If they don't drop a bomb from that,
how did it get that far? For you ain't just learned he was corny when you married.
Right.
Did you marry him and he was corny? I did because I had a son and I wanted him to have a family, and I don't have a family. It's just been my mama, my brother, my sister, and just my strong.
Was that his son? I'm sorry, this fucked up.
Was that his son? Yes. All right. Yeah.
No. I'm gonna tell you why it's fucked up.
Yeah. Hold up. Yes. So
One mic.
So I was a good wife. I came to bed with the lingerie on, danced and freaky shit, and that shit ain't for me. I don't think I ever want to be married again. But the bitches that with the married men, I feel you guys. They come home angry as shit, mad because they gotta take care of kids, mad because your wife, in the house, you want to look at porn, you want to play video games, you want to do all that little childish shit. You know what I'm saying? So I feel the women.
Hold on, my bad. Did y'all see how Anton was looking right there? Man, no. I guarantee you the dude wasn't coming home necessarily angry. Like talk about he came home, of course, probably, had been dealing with a lot during the day on these jobs, out here dealing with these bats and stuff all day, like any man, like any normal man. When a man comes home first, he needs a couple of minutes in his place of peace, which is his home supposed to be. He needs a few minutes just to relax, unwind real quick, and then he'll jump on any other thing that he needs to handle around the house. That's typically how that goes when you're dealing with a man that's actually about something in life, that has substance and trying to actually be a productive man. He just need a minute when he come home. For real though.
That are married, and I feel the women that are side bitches, because at the end of the day, he want to be with you. But he can't be with you because he got kids with this bitch. And then you make him happy.
What you're saying?
What am I saying?
This is why niggas dog women.
He is 1,000% correct. He could not have put a better exclamation point on that if I was sitting there myself.
I actually thought my husband lost 10.
Lord, here we go. All right, though.
He couldn't have put a better exclamation point on what it was that she was saying if I was sitting there myself. Let's break this down. She said, I was with a good man. A good man. He's a good man, Savannah. She said she was with a good man. That's the first thing that she laid out with, is that I was with a good guy. Then she said he never cheated or did anything outside of the marriage or anything like that. And I'm telling you, I've seen this time and time and time and time again. You would not believe the amount of coaching calls or the amount of conversations that I've been a part of as a result of being visible online and then running into people and then people wanting to be, included in certain conversations. And then one thing leads to the other, whatever, so on and so forth. Sitting at the bar, having certain conversations with women that want to have extended conversations, even though they shouldn't even be there in the first place, because they are married and they supposed to be at home, and they got a kid at home and a husband at home, and they not trying to go home. They trying to get chose.
Man, stop it. Stop it. You know, hey, any man that's been to the bar, things like that, club, whatever, yeah, a lot of chicks in those settings do have boyfriends and husbands low key, and that's kind of how that goes. Yeah, they're trying to get out, they're trying to have fun, whatever, for whatever reason, they're trying to relive whatever past that they have low key. That's kind of what's going on. And yeah, they get sick of the quote unquote boring life. But what needs to be understood about stability is not necessarily boring, but it's stable. It's like when you're on the sea with a ship, the best sea conditions are when when the sea is not rocky, when it's you know it's stable. Basically, you can get to where you need to go safely. But when you're in a storm in the middle of the ocean, oh, it's gonna be a problem out there. And at some point, it's no uh whatever life raft or whatever you have that if the storm is huge enough, that life raft is not gonna save you. Seriously.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
I'm just being honest. And that's how most relationships are nowadays. They're huge storms at sea. And it's like, what do you do with that? You know?
Third, corny. And she knew that he was corny. And the reason that she settled for him is because he was a safe option, not the option that she wanted. Meaning, and again, corny guys ultimately win in life. But y'all want to be with the dudes that's gonna dog y'all out. Y'all want to be with the dudes that's gonna be in the streets. You want to be with the dudes that's gonna slap you up, grab you up, cheat on you, don't have no real respect for you, and control you. Right? They want Tupac in a suit.
And I definitely agree with what brother Anton just said definitely on that last part with Tupac in the suit. But to rewind back to the what he also said about corny guys winning in the end, I don't necessarily see that as a win like that. I'm sorry, but I just don't. I just don't. If she coming to the table with that type of mindset and that type of not understanding what actually makes a family work, and she's also dealing with the issues of where she come from, because she got that type of thinking from the last men that she actually, were dating and dealing with in relationships and stuff. Where he need to check me and this and that and woo to woo, and I just it's like, baby, look, I want to treat you like a human being. I mean, what are we talking about here? I want to treat you like a human being, because when I come and go and I decide to go somewhere, I don't need no fucking issues out you. Real talk.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
And as far as the corny guy winning in the end, that also is a lot of emotional issues that she's bringing to the table. I don't know how that would be a necessary win. I get it, but I don't know how that will be a win, man. That's a lot of emotional issues that a man will have to clear up within that woman. But is that actually his job to do so in all reality?
They want a legalized version of pop. Fourth, she said that she don't ever want to be married again, and she basically want to be in the streets. This is the culture that women are embracing and that they love and that they want to be a part of, that ultimately is not best for society, but they embrace it anyway. Why? Because it makes them feel a way, not necessarily put them in the best position to raise their children, be an example for their children, provide stability, retirement, all of that stuff. And then she said that he wanted to, in his little leisure time, play video games and all that. Man, listen, bro. She called this guy childish. He home every day. He take care of business. He's on top of things. And this just proves exactly what the guy said. at the end. She destroyed. Let me see if he said anything else.
Yeah, you just destroyed
A good man.
She just destroyed a good man. And then these guys wind up turning red and turn red pill, even though she probably took the child out of the home.
Lord. Which I guarantee you she did. Took the child clean up out of there.
And let me also say that a lot of these guys don't even realize what they're getting themselves into. They get with these women based off of aesthetics or, hot girl summer. Or, oh, look at the little cat, dog, whatever that is on the screensaver in the background. I don't know what that is. They get with the guy or they get with the girl based off of not necessarily where they going. And this is why I tell guys every single day, vet for where you going, vet for the direction in life where you going, not necessarily where you've been or not necessarily, where it is that you think you are at that particular moment, because you're not going to be the same person that you are at 20 as you are at 30 and 30 at 40 and 40 and 50. And so now she's a single baby mama, and she's saying that she more or less relates to the side chicks or the chicks in the street because that's the lifestyle that she truly wants to live. Now, later on in life,
she truly wants to live that lifestyle wholeheartedly because she don't want the responsibility that it takes to actually be a wife. She don't want that.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
She don't want that.
You can't make this shit up.
Can't make that shit up. She does not want that type of responsibility. Of course, it's too boring for her. It's not exciting, to actually be a wife in a stable household with, everything and not necessarily wrapped out perfectly, but it's not as much action going on as it was in her previous relationships that she's been used to and she's been trained to deal with mentally as a young woman. And these are the things that men take on, because once she's trained mentally to deal with all this action in her relationships, it's no way that she can, relax from that. It takes a lot of work for her to calm down from having to deal with all that action, because it's keeping her running. It's keeping her dopamines going. It's keeping her excited. Things like that. That action is a very dangerous toxin within women once they actually start dealing with certain type of men in their lives. It's a dangerous toxin.
she probably gonna come to a different conclusion and she gonna want to get back with the safe guy. However, the safe guy wasn't good enough for her when she was in her prime or when she had the things best. And it sounds like she's always been for the streets. It sounds like this is the lifestyle that she's always lived. But then, somebody told her that she needed to do the right thing. And then that just didn't align with the environment that she subjected herself to, or the trauma that she was a part of before she got into the relationship in the first place. And so what she basically did was say that good guys finish last, threw an exclamation point on that jump, destroyed this man's life, took his kid out of his life, all because she wanted to be for the streets. And it's so unfortunate. Then this isn't even, I want to make sure that I preface this by saying that this isn't a situation where we're holding women accountable per se, based off of the fact that saying that women are this or black men are this. This is a cultural issue. This is a cultural issue. This is something that is being taught to us, being ingrained in us. And it's so important for us to have these conversations, because even though we know that a majority of people are what they are, we have to ultimately leave an example for people that can also, that can get the message and possibly avoid this disaster in the first place, because there is a blueprint to what it takes in order to be successfully married. And we talk about that part also.
Now, I definitely agree with Brother Anton on that fact. It is being taught to us in our culture nowadays because of the way things are going. But also, too, I would like to also say, as far as the culture as a whole, all of us, all the races that reside here, definitely in the West, America, things like that, we can see that certain groups of women from certain ethnicities, while they also do engage in that type of Tupac in a suit type of situation, when they're younger, eventually they kind of gravitate out of that, a little bit earlier than black women do. I just want to put that. My bad. Hold on, I got the wrong one. I just would like to say that because yes, definitely from seeing the way that things move in society, and I could clearly see it too. Other races of women in the United States, yeah, while they will engage in that activity with that type of man for a certain period of time in their younger years, they tend to get out of it more earlier than black women do. Black women kind of carry that thing on until they actually get maybe and start creeping into their 30s and things like that. Maybe early 30s, maybe by 32, 33, they start trying to creep up out that mindset and trying to maneuver a little bit different. But at that age, it's like you didn't win all these, you didn't win all this time, and you didn't get that out your system early enough to where you can start reconditioning your mindset in order to bounce back and heal from the trauma of those situations that you dealt with that type of man. And it's not going to work, because at that point, after a certain point, people do get stuck in their ways, especially after they start to leap forth through time. Here we go.
But that don't get the visibility that this nonsense get, because women still lean to other. If the guys wasn't there in the room in order to emphasize this, if the guys didn't step up and say, yeah, you just destroyed a good man, and this is the reason why men dog women, because men that dog women are men that operate in a level of masculinity, because every guy don't necessarily need to be super aggressive in order to exhibit some masculinity, but men that
right, that's something that a lot of women don't understand either. That's a part of the fact that they've been dealing with the type of men that are overly masculine, like they just super aggressive type of men, and that doesn't really add well to what they used to call it, polite society. I mean, I'm just saying. No, you can't build businesses with those types of men that think like that. You can't have good polite society. You can't do anything with men that think like that. It's not going to work for longevity.
that dog these chicks, as much as women don't want to admit it, they love those type of guys. They 100% love. They want to test drive that. They want to roll with it. They ultimately want to be a part of whatever it is that they got going on. And good is bad and bad is good in this cultural norm that we live in. And this is what I'm saying. This is a cultural issue. This is bigger than, what you feel or how people are operating. This is way bigger than all of that. This is a cultural norm that is being ingrained in our young girls now from their mothers, that tear up their families, and then they go and make TikTok and Instagram videos acting like they victims. And if it wasn't guys in the room in order to call her out on her BS, then she would have got away with that, because the other girl was ultimately asking like, hey, he was corny and you still married him? Listen, hold on, let me back up. Let me see if I can get that girl.
Worship what I walked on. He was that, but he was too corny for me. Like, tell me sit down. Tell me stop going out. God. Don't put your hands on me, but put your foot down. Like every time
she want to be controlled. She want to be dominated. She want to be dogged out.
I can go out anytime I want to. I can whatever do it.
How did it get that far?
If they don't drop a
Watch the
ball,
other girl.
How did it get that far? For you ain't just learned he was corny when you married.
Right.
Did you marry him and he was corny? I did, because I had a son and I wanted him to have a family, and I don't have a family. It's just been my mama, my brother, my sister, and just my strong ass.
I'm sorry, this fucked up.
Listen,
look, you know what I'm saying? Obviously she did have family. You talking about mom, this and that. Either way it go, if you have siblings and offspring, you do have a family. That's family.
she settled for him.
You're right.
Some of y'all get with these chicks and you are in these situationships where she settled for you because you're not her first pick. You're not even her second pick. You might not even be her third pick, but you're the dude that was willing to marry her when everybody else was dogging her out and making her for the streets.
Bad deals. Bad deals.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Bad deals. You know, and that's the thing about this, man. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we as men, we need to stop taking these bad deals. You know, it's no way that a young lady like that is going to be able to conform to a decent, polite life, you know, with peace. And, you know, even though, like she said before, she wanted to put her son, technically, she really did want to put her son in within a family, you know, where there was a man in the household. She tried it. But because she came from a situation where there was no man in the household, like she said, it was just her mama, the siblings and stuff like that. Because she came from that, it kind of, she wasn't conditioned in order to handle that. She would have to get around other women that have grown up like that and learn from other women like that in order to, you know, gain that information and ingrain herself to move that way. You know, birds of a feather flock together is a very real thing. It's a very real thing. And I know we try to get away from these old school sayings and stuff like that in the new age, you know, well, that's just old. And, you know, we're new age now. It's a new day. It's a, you know, this and that. But these things were put in place for a reason because they actually mean something. It actually shows the dynamic of human nature when we say that birds of a feather flock together. It shows that, you know, pigeons don't fly with eagles. You know, bats don't fly with pigeons. It's just, you know, you know what I'm saying? It just it just don't work that way. It just don't. And once you did, I hate to say it, but once you pick your side, it's going to take work in order for you to, you know, get yourself out of that mindset. You have to really want to change. You have to really want to distance yourself from the mindset of those type of individuals that you're flocking with. You have to really want to actually maneuver around the dumb stuff in order to get into a better situation. You have to really want that for yourself, man. And yeah.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
It just is what it is. And that's no way around it. But it's sad to see that yeah, we do have some women out here that will not be able to conform to what in their deep down in their heart, they really want that. They really want the stability. They really want, because women are women. They innately, they really want that stability. They really do. But if they go through so much trauma and drama in their younger years and stuff like that, and they don't take the time to really heal from those issues and see a better way and want that for themselves wholeheartedly, then it's not going to work. It's not going to work. There's no need for you men out there to keep taking bad deals out here. Like, seriously. Yep, but that is what it is, though, man. Hey, shout out to all my subscribers out there. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure that you ring that bell, that you'll be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.
Katie, what are you doing? And she's like, a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do.